Okay, so here I am sitting in the seat. I got the seats back in here. This is kind of the first iteration of the dash face, or the front console, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And I can already tell you that I've got the seat in the frontmost position. I can already tell you that this is not going to work because I'm running into it with my leg. So I either have to put a curve in here or bring it in. If I put a curve in there, it's going to make it real difficult for this side panel. I'm trying not to be super difficult. It would look really cool though. So I guess I got to figure out how I want to do that. The other thing I have is I got to set this off back here. So I need a bunch of space in here for the radio and stuff to slide into. So I need to set this, I need to bring this forward some like that. And then I was thinking, okay, if I do that, so say if it's right there, if you look at the floor area, then I have back to the shifter. So trying to figure out a space for this. And I think what I need to do is I need to make a plate that goes from this tube to this new cross member thing that I put in here. That's removable. So I have something some structure that I can mount that shifter to. That'll be the next thing. I'm kind of low energy right now because I've been thinking a lot, and it's just kind of wiping me out a little bit, trying to figure out, 14 different steps ahead. That's kind of an exaggeration, more like 5 steps ahead. But I'm thinking if I bring this out, I'm gonna run into the shifter. I'm not gonna have enough space in here, which is fine. The only thing that needs to live in here is the shifter. I've got these seats in the forwardmost position, so theoretically, if I put this here and it's almost touching, there's gonna be plenty of room when I move the seats back. The other thing is, while I'm just talking here, these sticks, this stick for the front wheel drive is basically under my leg, so I need to heat them up and move them over. Then I'm thinking about back here between the seats. I've already made a piece of flooring that goes in right there, but I'm thinking about making just a skinny little console right here with cup holders in it. Not that I'm gonna need cup holders when I'm racing, but it would be nice to have cup holders when I'm just out pre-running or whatever. Also just sort of visualizing how I'm gonna run the dash screen and the switch pros, where they're gonna go, the switches. I got plenty of room here for the dash, for the Holly dash. I don't need any depth, so it doesn't matter if it runs into, if there's no space behind the panel there. Switch pros is surface mount as well. The only thing I really need to worry about is switch for the winch, and then enough room behind the panel for the radio, the intercom and the radio. So, yeah, I guess that's enough rambling. But after I get all this done, then I'm going to, or sort of in place, then I'm going to address my steering column. I bought this handy dandy little, well, I went all the way too far. Handy dandy little tilt steering column system. And I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I don't know. We'll see. I got steering shaft, and I got a couple of universal joints, so we'll see, but that's got to be about right there. So that means working around this panel is going to be a little bit different or difficult. So I think what I may end up doing is taking an inch off of here, top and bottom, and that'll give me a little bit more room in here to run the panel past and give me room for my steering column, etc. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll cut this back an inch by an inch, and then I'll cut the bottom by an inch. That'll give me a little bit more clearance for my leg, and then give me clearance to run that panel through there. And give me what seems like a little bit more room in here for my leg and feet. This foot, and we've already kind of talked about this, but this is tight in here because of the header's right there. So there's going to be another panel coming in through between here and my foot. I'm going to have at least a 1/2 inch standoff, and it's going to tie into this. So yeah, so just trying to do the logistics of that. This panel over here is going to be a little bit tricky because of that tube. So the panel I'll have to kind of slide in from here and then attach to this somehow. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. But yeah, lots of things to think about. And what I don't want to do is have to redo something because I make a mistake, but you can't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn. And obviously I make plenty, but I just don't want to waste time having to redo something. And so I'm just sitting here thinking about all kinds of different stuff. So good thing is, and then I'll get off, I'll stop rambling, but the good thing is Holly Dash and the Switch Pros makes things so much simpler and cleaner up here. And I think really, if I can narrow this out a little bit, that's going to make a huge difference. So, because it makes everything cleaner here. There's just not a lot of stuff I need to mount in there. Like the old buggy, I've got switches and breakers and all kinds of stuff, and I won't need any of that stuff. So I think the only thing I'm going to run separate from the Switch Pros is the winch controls, the in-cab winch controls, but everything else will be on the Switch Pros. So, all right, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to weld tabs on the front of this and the rear of this so that I can make some place for a plate to bolt to, and it needs to be removable obviously because all this has got to be able to come out. So I've got quite the little production going on here. I've got shims because I want, actually I could just do it that way. I was overthinking it, but I have a shim between there and there. And what I was going to do was set this up to where it was flush to that, which is fine. I think that'll work right there. And then I need another one to go underneath here because I want this plate to sort of run into that. Yeah, I think that'll work because I need it to maintain this plane here. And I want to make sure that it is down below. If I hang these here, I'll go down below it a little bit and shim it down so that that plate runs into the edge of this. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So we'll do this back one first. And then go from there. Okay, Sunday afternoon. I'm not sure where we left off yesterday, but after the last segment or video, I welded tabs in here, and I've got a plate. This is a piece of 1/8 inch plate that will serve as the base for the shifter. So I need to put the passenger seat in, and then I'm going to mark out where the shifter could presumably live and get that tacked in. All right, so I got this tacked in there. At first I thought it was a little bit high, but it's actually, I think it's actually pretty good. I've got the seat in the rearward, in the furthest back position, which is probably where I'm going to drive it most. I might move it up one, but just looking at everything I've got here, I laid out the dash on the laser, and I just cut this out of cardboard. I needed to template out the radio gear and make sure that it was going to fit. I might take the intercom. This is a slot for the intercom, so it's kind of hiding behind the shifter. I might move that up and put it in line with, this is the M1 radio. It's a rugged radio product. Anyway, so I might put those in line together if there's enough room there. I need to leave myself a flange on this edge to bolt to, but I think that's going to work. And I've been thinking about this. I'm thinking about all kinds of different stuff, but I want to make this dash section, this part right here, the easiest to remove. So in other words, if I have problems with something behind there, I want to be able to unbolt this and remove it without having to unbolt anything else. So everything's going to be wired into quick disconnects. I've got those, gosh, I forgot the name, but they're quick electrical fasteners. I got a kit to use those. So everything will be real clean, and this whole panel will be able to just come off easy. So in other words, I want to put this in last. So I'm going to have to build everything up to this and then put this in last. So this can be the very first thing that can come off if I have problems behind here with anything electrical. I think this is going to be good. Hopefully, with the heat shields and stuff I have here behind, this is going to be enough. I'm going to wrap all the exhaust with either exhaust wrap or some sort of a pyro blanket stuff. And oh, the other thing I did was with this, I was going to cock it and turn it toward me, but then I decided to go with just keeping it simple and making it parallel. That's going to make it a lot easier for me to come in here and tie in cup holders back between the seats here. So anyway, yeah, I think that'll work good. I was a little concerned about making everything fit, but I think that'll work good. Next, I need to start working on floor paneling and tying in floor paneling across here and around here, tie in these plates that I built, and go from there. All right, well, I got that shifter base welded in there. I think at this point, it's going to be, I'm starting to visualize how I'm going to tie in the shift boot cover and stuff for the Atlas, for the transfer case. But I think at this point, it's going to be cardboard aided design. I need to just start building templates. And I want to lay down the remainder of the floor first and figure out the angles and how I'm going to tie that in. After I do that, I'm going to tie in the secondary inner dash, or whatever you want to call it, that will tie into this, and that stuff will all get screwed in last, like I said, so that I can access the back side of that first. So I'm not sure if I'm going to need any other structure as far as steel is concerned. I think I have enough aluminum that's heavy enough or thick enough to where I can screw to it and I can put brakes in it and make it really rigid. There's probably going to be some custom angles in here that I'm going to have to weld, but we'll figure that out when the time comes. Right here, I'm just trying to figure out if I need to build this up. I probably do need to build it up at least to the level of the back of the shifter here. So there might be like a little center console box that gets built up right here. I'm not sure. The thing is I don't want it to interfere with the seat. So again, I'm gonna have to put the seat back in and take some measurements, just because that is the seems to be the thing I do. Take the seat out, put it back in, take the seat out, put it back in. By the time I'm done with this, the seats will have come out and gone in hundreds of times for sure. Yeah, I think this is gonna be good. Just a lot of things. I'm like a squirrel, just thinking about all these different things that I need to consider before I start making anything permanent. So one step at a time.
Now then, so the strong commit.